by far, shining while the world is slumbering, full and proud. You lay me down, and when the sun descends, I will be there fading once again. Listen to them, night's children. What sweet music they make. Are you feeling small? Feeling frisky? Won't you let me show my to you all? Let me show you. This will only take a minute. Are you feeling small? Feeling frisky? Won't you let me show my to you all? Let me show you. This will only take a minute. I've gone all night to find you. I'm bound to see this through. I live with no regret, but I'm not done with you just yet. My eyes are open wide with the one in me that lives inside. If pride precedes the fall, I'll rise with the night, then fall upon you all. Listen to them, night's children. What sweet music they make. Are you feeling small? Feeling frisky? Won't you let me show my to you all? Let me show you. This will only take a minute. Are you feeling small? Feeling frisky? Won't you let me show my to you all? Let me show you. This will only take a minute. There will be more like me with blackened wings and sharp teeth. One for every three. Take your thrones and be free. Now the father of night from the son of the dawn. Love the sun and make way for the unholy one. Are you feeling small? Feeling frisky? Won't you let me show my to you all? Let me show you. This will only take a minute. Are you feeling small? Feeling frisky? Won't you let me show my to you all? Let me show you. This will only take a minute.
I don't think they can see us. All right, on three. Ready? Whoa! Hello, friends and enemies. How's everyone doing out there? Thank you for showing up and listening to that last song. My name's Zach.
My name is Ida.
You might notice there's a
We're a little squished.
we might not have squared this as well as we could. I think there's some nice little free spaces though that might need to be accompanied.
Might need to be
What do you guys think? Yay?
occupied.
What if everyone said no?
Nay.
Nope, this is good.
It's like,
Do it
no,
this
we like
way.
this. This is great.
We have a little bit of catching up to do on the story itself. Last week, we found out that Max Rudolph turned into a vampire. We bid him good. He found what he was looking for, and we found him, and now he's a part of our little army. And then we found out through some songs earlier in this week, and we're going to go over them a little bit more. But now that Josie and Archie have officially banded together, they just sang some songs that, holy moly, what? Ah, hello.
Joe's here.
That's a very
Joe.
bossy nod. You were like,
That was,
That was
come
very pointed cue. That was good.
No, I don't think
Very
anyone
subtle.
noticed.
Very
I think it
subtle.
was very, hi.
hi.
How's it
How are
going, Joe?
you?
I'm good. How are you guys?
I'm excited you're here.
Great.
I'm excited too. I was
It's nice
teaching
to
all
have you
day,
here.
and I finished teaching. So now that I'm all dressed up with dressed up friends, it's fun. I'm ready to get
Feels
into
like
the
going
story.
out again.
Upward slap.
The story.
Oh, that was so fast.
Get into
it looks even faster here.
I play violin.
Yeah, out of the riff, if I was a horse, I would have needed blinders not to give a start. Gotta say hello to these fine folks. I skipped that part to say hello to our friends. Okay.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody. Hey, Jessica. Welcome.
Hello.
Thanks for joining us. Of course, anthropology for short. Thanks for coming back, man. Jim Nasby, I'm not sure I recognize your name. I like your face.
Strong entrance.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Thick Porg. It's a great
name.
Thick pork is lovely.
Oh, I can't wait to become better acquainted.
And that name,
Holly.
very nice.
Is that how it's
Excellent.
pronounced?
Holly.
Holly.
It was close. I'll tell you the real way later.
Okay, is
Okay.
it a silent H? It's like the skateboard trick. Matt Gaddy, hello.
Hey, Matt Gaddy.
Oh my God, Matt Gaddy!
Oh, man.
Matt
This is
Gaddy is
sweet.
the favorite bass player on stream who sometimes plays Fable Cry songs.
He's
We
very
love
fun.
Matt Gaddy.
I
Thank you for
enjoy his
joining
streams.
us.
You took my mole.
so
What is
did
this
Urchin.
bullshit?
I've been doing this for years. What are you talking about? Literally, this is something I've been doing for years. Yeah.
You match.
I can look up proof that we both have been doing this for a long time.
Keep reading.
I don't like it when they fight.
It's only the beginning. Surly Urchin, welcome.
Hello.
Thank you for coming, Ryan. We like your everything.
Everything. Yes.
Trace, hello. Hope you're having a great evening this evening. So we just oh.
You told me to sit here. I took it personally, but is there a reason?
I just didn't want to get too close. But now that we do have an extra seat, it might be worth putting someone in it.
It might be. I think so.
Okay.
Someone special to us, someone talented, someone very handsome,
Very handsome.
someone
Very handsome.
someone who goes back a long time with us and goes forward, I think, even further. if tonight goes well. Not. Everyone, I would like to give, we all would, a very warm welcome to the Dune Baydoun! Dune Baydoun!
Hello, I'm shaking the table.
Yes,
Those are my
bringing
long
the
legs.
color to it. Oh,
Oh,
you did this.
It's like the Wizard of Oz.
It
It
is.
is. Well, the wizard is. You're even wearing green.
I am wearing green.
Just like the wizard himself. How are you doing?
I'm well. I'm excited about this.
I am excited to have you. We've been doing this for a bunch of weeks, as a bunch of you know, and we've had this week planned for a bunch of weeks as well, and now it's finally arrived, and now...
I've never done one of these.
We're here.
Ooh,
Fancy.
first time. Well,
yes.
we have really nice folks out there who are easy.
Yeah, they make it
who
very
know
easy.
also that if at any point you got questions regarding the story or questions specifically for Dune and the many things that he does, which I think is a good starting point of the things that you do. Now, as many of you know, you've probably seen his name around from us posting and from maybe from other things. He is an artist here in Nashville. He does photography. He does music engineering and production, modeling, acting, videography, renovation, and
Cooking?
cooking.
Did you already say cooking?
Yep, real estate.
Yes.
What can't you do?
There's
He's a Renaissance
I can't juggle more than
true.
3.
He can even juggle. Is
Balls.
what I'm hearing.
I can only do 3.
You know, we're gonna be on here for a little bit, so it
It's
might
true.
be
It's a good time
it might
to
be
learn.
something that we can
Yeah.
play around. I can't do more than 3 either.
It's too much.
It's too many balls.
Too many balls.
Too many balls. One ball too many.
Yeah.
Well, the thing that I love about, I think this is going to turn into a lot of our hangs, just in general. There's going to be a lot of like gushing and like, oh no you and no you.
Yeah. Sounds like you're just asking for compliments.
I think just
Whenever you're ready, guys.
yeah, I really feel like we're all going to start giving each other compliments.
At some point, I'm going to
Any
compliment you.
minute
I
now.
expect.
I mean, I've
to
already
return.
said
A
a
lot of
few
give and
nice
takes.
things.
Yes.
So, you know, I mean, if we were taking turns, which we're not, but, you know. Anyway, I think someone so talented and so genuine and nice and kind. I lived with this man for a whole bunch of years. Beneath him, you were the man upstairs.
You lived in my basement.
I did. I lived in it willingly. You saved me at a time of need.
Good.
It was, and I miss it to a degree. The living with you part I miss very much, and a lot of that happened during the beginning of the pandemic, which was great to be close and kind of locked in with such a dear friend. And it was while we were kind of in the midst of trying to finish this album, which Dune Baydoun produced and engineered and recorded and did all of that for Fool Me Once, along with all of the promo photos we basically had for the last 2 or 3 years, whenever we did them, and the videos that you've been seeing through Fool Me Once, through this streaming that we've been doing. So before we get into all of that, you're here in Nashville. You have been doing... You do lots of things. All right, let's play a game. All right, let's pretend that we're like on a date, okay?
Okay.
And then like I take you to my parents' house, and you're
We're the
So-
parents?
you're the
Moving
parents.
so quickly.
Yeah, and that's the
Father.
thing.
Daddy.
It's like
Daddy.
we know that we're moving quickly, so
Other
I'm
daddy.
gonna some of these in real life I might know some of these answers, but I
Yes.
gotta ask them like kind of like, oh yeah, and didn't you say something about, because we don't know each other that well. I gotta play dumb for the audience
Okay.
and my parents. I gotta play smart for my parents
Yes.
because it's really serious.
Well, because you have to impress your parents.
Exactly. Like we meant this. This was not just. It's
Yeah.
So So hey, daddies.
I'm Duddy Joe.
Hello?
And this is Dune Baydoun. I've been living with him off and on for a while in his basement.
Living
And,
together.
Uh,
That sounds
Never in
serious.
my day and age. Oh my god.
I think we met at a wedding.
We did.
I remember too.
Yes.
Let's
So here's the story of how Zach and I met.
Oh, I love
so-
it. I love this story.
So your brother, your older brother Andrew, he was engaged to Tracy, who was a friend of mine from college.
They're
And
both here in the chat.
oh, wonderful. Hello, Tracy. Tracy was amazing. And then, so Tracy and I met in college. After college, she met a boy named Andrew. They fell madly in love,
Oh.
and they were to be wed. And so she hit me up saying, hey, we want you to photograph our wedding. I said, awesome. Their original location got switched. And so she was like, hey, we are doing a new location, a place called Camp Marymount. And I said, that's amazing. I went to Camp Marymount when I was little.
Kent Marymount's very nice.
Oh.
It's a nice
It's
camp.
awesome. So,
Yeah. Guys, remember?
Mhm.
You almost sent me there.
It's very nice.
I sent my eldest daughter, Juliet, there. Yes. I'm photographing the wedding. I meet Andrew. I meet Zach. After the wedding, we were going to do some post-wedding photos back at Camp Marymount. And we run out there to do that. And you're running out to Camp Marymount as well because you're filming part of the music video for Fancy Dancing. If I'm
That's
correct.
right.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
So
the intro, the gate,
you and I-
the doorway,
That's
we had to
cool.
film out there.
Yes.
Because so there's a lot of woods where we're running, so part of that Fancy Dancing intro was that. So it was like I'm in full makeup and Ryan's out there,
Yeah.
and we're like, "Oh, hey man, that was
Yeah.
a fun wedding.
So
Good to see you
we
again.
run into each other again.
I hope you meet
And
my
you're
parents."
in costume, and I'm like, oh, that's awesome, you do music. I produce an engineer. Do you need any help with that? And you said, we just finished our album, but I'll let you know in the future. I said,
say,
cool.
Get out of here. You're a little too
We
forward.
don't need you.
No, it was a bummer. It was like ships in the. I mean, I
Yeah,
love
you really
the
had
way the
just
last
finished
album
it.
came together, but I had never done produced a rock album, and neither had Ford, and so there were songs on there that I would have liked to have heard you do stuff on.
Well, he
so-
did a wonderful job.
Yeah, he
He
did.
did.
I-
Ford Hickok is great.
Because the next time I believe I saw you, you were at your album release show for that.
Easter egg.
Because Look What I Did was opening. I'm friends with the Look What I Did guys. I did produce their last album as well, which you should check out on
It's
iTunes.
very good.
It's awesome.
What is
and
it
then
called?
it is called. I don't know if it's appropriate for me to say.
This is
'Cause it
well,
was-
unless your kids are watching.
I think my kids are watching.
my parents are watching.
And the daddies are on high alert right
If your
Joe
kids are
Daddy and I
watching,
did
this is
Daddy.
normally not an all ages strictly.
I believe my mom is watching.
Oh,
Hello.
Hi, Mom.
hello.
But
Wow. So
so
we're meeting each other's
yeah. Well,
parents.
the out. Yeah,
Same.
I know.
This is a big deal.
Moving fast.
Wow.
Wow.
So they're opening for you, and I believe you and I talked shortly after that show about moving into my house because I think I was talking to Tracy about the spare room in my home, wanting to rent it out because I was renting it out to my friend Amanda Fields, who is an amazing bluegrass musician. You should check out her music, Amanda Fields.
She's very good.
She had to move out. She was getting a place with her partner at the time, and at that same time, Tracy said, "Oh, you should talk to Zach. He's moving out of his place."
He was living on my couch at that point. half
I
the time.
was, and my van the other half.
So I hit Zach up. I said, "Hey, come check out my place. It's available if you want it," and it went from there.
It was marvelous. It was marvelous. Yeah, it ended up being so perfect because obviously I needed because at the beginning, like, I found myself in a between home situation where there was living in the van in the shop and her couch and some friends, and when that first happened, you didn't have that space available, and I bided my time. My time was bided. I waited.
Yes.
I waited and then checked it out, and it was great. It had everything I needed, and it had your studio where you lived, and we were just starting to write new material. So this was like, oh, hey, remember how you wanted to you want to work together? This could be very convenient, and we were a couple years into our Nightmare Before Christmas annual cover that we were doing, and so that upcoming winter, we did Sally's song. Was I think the first one that we did with you.
Yes, and then we did the year after that, and then I think somewhere in there I started the Look What I Did album. You went through a few drummers,
You know.
but then we found wonderful Andrew,
Andrew.
Perfect.
who I think just wrapped up his stream.
Where are you, Andrew?
I hope he's here.
I hope you come
But
to here.
he's killing it on Twitch, as is Joe, and as is.
Oh, I mean, I'm just starting, but Joe's definitely killing it on Twitch over here.
People are dying because of
People
these
are
Twitch
dying
streams.
on
Is
Twitch.
basically what's happening. There is killing going on.
Thank you.
Check them out.
I remember approaching you about the album and saying, "Hey, I still want to record. I want to do something that, like, basically, there's no rhyme or reason why we shouldn't be able to just make the whatever we wanted." Basically, like, we have our studio, we have, extremely talented people, we know who we can get, like, we can get these people on board, we can get those people on board. Let's just shoot for the moon and do the most epic thing that we can possibly make. And I think I wrote to you, I was like, let's make a concept album. Like, let's, just like I don't mind, like let it be like a double album or something like that. Just something big.
Yeah, and
bigger
at the time, I
any
think
of
it
us
was
have
like,
ever done.
yeah, I'm kind of writing the story around, like, Welcome to the Joint had just started. It was like, yeah, like, I'm thinking it's probably going to be like an EP we could start with. Because the Nightmare Before Christmas covers with him went so well that
So good.
it was, we used that in a way as sort of a test to see how well we could work together. And I had heard what you had done with other bands and knew what you did was amazing and knew I liked you as a person, but you get into a working space and it has
He's
to
just trying to get
Go on.
compliments. Don't
Yeah, don't fall for it.
Yeah, you were so good the whole time. But we just knew it was the only way. It was like, yeah, let's throw an EP together, and then we did Welcome to the Joint was the first one, the first time round, because there were a lot of false starts with this album where we started it and then things would change up, or we would arrange things a little different, or people would leave, or people would come in.
Yeah.
Or both. Yeah, so we sorry, I gotta put those away. I got distracted.
Once we had Andrew, and we had, so we had the drummer that was kind of staying, and that was like, okay, this is the full-time guy. Yeah, we built it from there. I remember redoing a couple parts that he originally laid down. I mean, like, it's just as the album went.
Yeah, there was a thing about, like, it was so convenient and awesome that we both lived at the same house that the studio was. It meant, though, because it was so convenient, it was like, okay, we can just do it again, like, because we're right here, so
We don't have to schedule.
so we got a little greedy about it. But ultimately, like, there's the arrangements or the other parts that I mean, we were listening back to some of the previous arrangements, or when I look back on demos that we made of the songs, they sound so different.
Yeah.
And some of them are very similar, and this is the way they were the whole time. But some took so many different turns.
I
and
wonder
twists
if
and then
there's a original, I guess, demo of Who's Got Who.
I probably, if you still like, yours would be the original. I found one on my phone recently of me, like, my first take at it, because you're like, here, do, like, this is the song if you have other ideas. So it was my first kind of like, maybe this little thing as well, maybe this, but it was before it like became that slow shuffle. It was
Who's Got Who, I think, transformed the most since when we started. Who's Got Who, a lot of people know about Target Practice, which is the like big angry Joe one. Who's Got Who is like a little sad Joe, but it's like still kind of angry,
It goes
which is
pretty
like
sad.
which is my resting.
No, the bridge in Who's Got Who, you gotta. I remember you tracking vocals. You were having a rough day.
I was about to say
Not that you were you were having a rough time recording vocals. Like you had some boy issues.
Yeah, I got
at the
dumped.
time,
And
like coming straight into the studio from then, and so it's like this really pretty, like Who's Got Who, like it's this really pretty song, but then like it just gets dark in the
bad.
bridge, and I remember you had to take some breaks because you were, you had some struggles for a little bit, and we made sure to just take your time, and in this bridge I remember being like, just try and push all of that out, and when recording that bridge, and so like your vocals get real distorted.
Yeah, I was
you let out
like
a little bit of a demon.
God, Joe.
oh, it was so
It was
funny.
awesome. But I remember that song when you first wrote it, bringing it in, and I was like, oh, this is cool. Like it was very different than what I was used to hearing from the band. Like like it was a Joe song and not a Zach song, so it was just like this complete different dichotomy working. And I was like, oh, it's really pretty, it's really cool, it's slow, like this could be interesting. And then when you guys got together and then reworked it and then restarted the official recording of it, it just blew my mind of how cool it was and what a different direction and level you put it in from how it started. So
No, I mean, both of you guys got me through even just like writing that and conceptually, as I was scared to record it on top of the other issues that happened that particular day. But that was actually really funny. I probably shouldn't talk about it too much, but it is funny. Like, it happened literally outside the studio. I got a call and was like, "Hi," and it's just like, "Nope." I was like, "What?"
It was like
you come bursting through the door like,
It's like, goddamn. Yeah, I just like slammed in the door and I was just like, "I need 5 minutes," and you guys were both like, "Whoa," and I was just like, like cutting it all out. It's just like, this is so stupid. But I'm not. And you guys were just like, "Should we schedule it?" And I'm like, "Nope, we're doing it tonight. Get me a drink now."
Was that because this happened a few times when we were recording your vocals?
I got dumped multiple times.
Well, no, that's not what I meant to reference, but it is true. This, so I can't remember which track it was, but it was probably multiple ones where you were like, you were. I mean, like as you just said in the story, you were very good the whole time at encouraging the emotion that was transpiring in our day to day to like, hey, this thing that use it.
yeah.
But then Joe would go further and request us to use it back and wanted us to be mean to her.
Yeah, I was like, say something to make me mad.
Yeah.
But it was like the dumbest, like fake mean. Just like,
We're not great at insults.
like, you
I
look
got-
silly.
I cut deep. I was like, are you sure? Like,
Yeah.
You would
How-
be like, "Your
we-
hair doesn't look fantastic." And then Zach would be like, "Baloo has anxiety issues because you're a bad pet owner." I'd be
yeah.
like,
And I was like, when
"Oh,
Baloo was
deep."
very sick, I was like, you're gonna, all right, here's the time. I would like turn it up. You're like, more, and they're like, okay, and then to do a take, and they'd be like, okay, again.
Yeah, it worked though.
One of the times we both were just like, I don't know. Like, I think we had a bad week. And we're just like, I don't know. I'm not in the mood to be mean.
You're a
like
jerk.
Like, oh, it's hard. And then you were like, F you guys. And like, then used
nice
that
boys.
instead of just being pissed at us for not being mean.
I find the inspiration where I need to.
And it works.
No, but I knew I threw a lot at you. A lot. Because we recorded that over, like, the course of how long? That album.
The album took
Oh, man.
a while, but
Yeah.
not necessarily. It wasn't our fault.
It was like, it was some
We-
false head starts. Because, like, from Welcome to the Joint, that was, what did we figure out with Jordy when that was? I think it was 3.5 years ago that we
Yeah.
released Welcome
that,
to the Joint.
Yeah, and that was.
But
with the
then we
previous
took a bunch
drummer.
of, like, we had, like, we went through drummer and different, like,
there was, like,
keyboard
a year
changeover that,
of
like, went through
changeover.
several
Yeah.
in between where it was, like, some false starts and some, like, good show opportunities we had in that time where we were just, like, we got to kind of hold off from the studio
Yeah.
and play a bunch of shows. And, yeah. 3.5 years, or
A lot
Yeah.
happens in 3.5 years.
Yeah.
And whenever I
A lot
brought it
happens.
into the studio, you were very good at being like, okay, should I pat you on the back now or
No.
like leave you?
There were some questions.
What is
It's fun because it's however many people trying to schedule and align all of our days together, and it's also like like Zach and I live together, so it was easier for him and I to like, hey, let's just knock out these guitars real quick or something like those flowed fine. Getting other people to align their days around recording times, around my own schedule of like I have umpteen million jobs. I raise 4 kids, so like I have a lot going on, and
yeah, you were doing so much for the album, and then outside of that, it was just
So for any of us to be able to find time to come together and record, it wasn't the easiest thing. So a lot of it, it took a while, but
yeah. But that's what
It
happens
was
when you want to make
fun.
perfection.
that's when you that's what happens when you want to make art. And,
It's true.
and then try and have an album release in the middle of a global pandemic.
That too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, what a time.
Alvor
Questions?
has asked, serious question here. How long does prep normally take for the whole band? And are there any specific rituals you guys have?
Fable Cry is a pro at working extraordinarily fast when it comes down to a deadline.
Mm-hmm.
So like a lot of the times, especially the best example is the Nightmare Before Christmas stuff, where it's just like,
Yeah.
here's a demo. Typically, when can you record it this week? Typically, like we'll get 2 days with the demo, and then everyone comes in one after the other.
Yeah.
So it's always
Yeah,
drums
from
first.
like arrangement to learning to recording
Yeah.
is like a 2-week process.
It's very fast.
In between all other stuff.
And you've somehow arranged a
Fast.
team of
And-
people who are also dedicated and motivated by each other that
It's
it will be
pretty
like,
cool.
we have a week and it's like, we can start at 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. and we're like, okay,
Yeah.
like, let's do it.
I feel like over time you guys got a better flow with it.
That's good.
Like then,
I'm glad to hear
good
that.
to hear.
well, like I assume a lot of
hard
it
to tell
happens kind of
sometimes.
behind the scenes, and so whenever you came to me, you were like, "Hey, like we're gonna be doing Nightmare Before Christmas. This is the song we're gonna do," and I was like, "Cool." And then like a couple weeks later, you like, "Here's the file of like here's the demo." I don't know how long it took you to do all that and manage it with everybody's schedule,
Yeah.
but by the time it reached me, it was like, this is what the arrangement sounds like. Let's find some time to record it, and that's when Andrew would come in, knock out the drums, and then we'd do everything else on top of it.
Yeah.
And to be clear, because I want this definitely to be highlighted, like most of the time we would have ideas, but Dune was one of the main people that helped us orchestrate that as well. Just sitting at the computer, you would just be like, can you now do that, but like higher and do it twice as fast? And then also, like, you also have a musical background, which makes it so much easier to
I try.
convey. You do a great job, and
Yeah,
then I'm
no,
crying
absolutely.
too, and
Oh.
you're just like, oh my god.
No, you're very fun to
Just
work
wait.
with in the studio.
Yeah.
I love the
Yeah.
fact that you're not precious about any of the recordings. It's just like, nope, do it again. And it's like, that take
Oh,
is gone.
yeah.
We're not holding on to it. Like, it's just like, we're doing it again? Okay, that take's gone.
Yeah, that was a
And
that was a
like-
shock from the way I usually do things. That was good for me to
Yeah.
not be precious as well about certain takes or sit too long and be like, can I hear both of them back? It's like
It's
that
gone.
one doesn't
It doesn't
exist
exist
anymore.
anymore.
That
And
came.
that's great.
Well, the main idea comes from it was an old video I saw about Q-Tip, the rapper, when he was producing and stuff like that, and Busta Rhymes was giving an interview, and he was talking about like how they were coming up with all these different beats, and like there would be this beat that Q-Tip made, and that they were all like pumped about it, like, oh, this is awesome. And then like Q-Tip would just be like, you know what, I think we can do better, and then he would just delete it, not
man.
like save it or rework it. He's just and so Busta Rhymes would be like, so you would see it just disappear, and it's like something that you loved, but like that set the bar of
Yeah.
like, okay, like whatever we do has to be better than that, or we're gonna be so mad at ourselves.
Sure,
You
yeah.
know.
Oh
that's
man.
True, though.
So yeah, it's the main idea being like, especially with takes and stuff like that. Like, if we do a take and you're just kind of like, yeah, it was good. I think maybe we should keep it. I don't know. If it's a maybe, like, nope, like
Yeah.
it needs to be something
Need
you're
an
like,
emphatic yes.
that was great. Like I'm.
And even
comfortable
sometimes
with
that you're like, nah, you can do
Yeah.
better.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, I felt great about that take. You're like, you're gonna feel better about this next one. Push it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But always happy, but with a smile on your face too.
Oh, Tracy Joe said, Tracy said I had a question, and then said Joe just kind of answered my question, which was, what is an example of Dune's influence on the recording process?
yes.
Yeah. No, especially for the strings, you were great with even things like for violin, not to be too like boring teachery, but you know the difference between like staccato notes or like big ones. You're like, no, leave space between them, make them bigger.
Mhm.
Like you were really integral for the string parts. Because a lot of times I come in, I'm like, I don't know, I don't know.
Yeah.
I got dumb today. I don't know what to do.
I had ideas, but they went away.
Now I'm just sad. You're like, okay.
It was well, yeah, because you have such an ear for what where it needs to be separated, how it should layer. Like you have an idea of how the parts will layer. So, I mean, even with the guitars, there were tons of times where I'm like, here is a whole riff, and you're like, all right, we're gonna separate the strings and isolate them, or like you're gonna double just this but do it an octave, or
Yeah, like
And we
equally
kind
an
of, like,
arranger, for sure.
yeah, for sure, and just to make it sound big.
It was awesome being able to work with you guys, and with you guys being open to that, because a lot of times, which is why I love producing so much, is a lot of bands, it's interesting seeing how they work, because a lot of times it's just like, okay, this is our song, this is how we wrote it, and this is how we're going to record it, and they have a very like linear process in their own mind. It doesn't leave a lot of room for like, oh, what if we do this? It could sound bigger. Like, I don't know. Or like, you run into guys that like, we're only going to use mics. Nothing's going to be digital. And like, they're very passionate, and like, which is great. And you work with that, and like, you make it sound as best as you can. And some bands will come in and they're just kind of writing it as they go, and that can take a lot of time. But no, it was great working with. You guys were so, I guess, open and wanting to be more creative. You bring songs, say, this is the song, this is the arrangement that we have. I would be able to listen to it, and I would be able to mark my own ideas and notes, and like, oh, it could be cool if this happens, or this part could be bigger, and you guys were so like, tell us, let's do this, So,
Yeah. Well, I mean, there was so much about the this album. I think because for so much of my playing, I was acoustic, and then kind of just like a general gritty raw thing, and you brought so much tone to my guitar, and really you like, we would go through things and you're like, this or this, here's what I have ideas for how the guitar should sound, and now I'm building a new pedal board and fashioning it off of that sound that you helped me find. So it's exciting because it's like, I don't always know what these riffs should sound like. I need to hear them back in context of the full band as well, and I can play around with it by myself, but hearing it in the context of violin and keys and the multiple harmonies that we do is, it was, thanks. Basically. I appreciate it.
Thank
There
you.
was so much about my part in the tone of the whole album that was, you.
I mean, I'm glad that you liked it. That I feel
I
like
loved
that, like I'm glad I didn't feel pressure. I'm just like, hey, later on I'm going to be building a pedal board like based on whatever you're choosing, so make it good.
Yeah, it's like, no, now I'm like, oh man, how do I get that tone? And I've seen live performances, old ones since, that I'm like, oh man, I don't have it quite figured out yet. Like, that sounds better on the album than it does live.
And it's funny, I was actually earlier today talking to Skeet from Look What I Did. He's continuing to build his rig, and because he is tired of having such good guitar tone on record, and then because a lot of it is either like digital or layered or whatever it is, and so he's, and then in the end he might not be able to be as happy with it. So like, listening back, so he's building his rig based on like, okay, I like the tone on these songs or whatever, and I want to build it kind of based on that, but also in a way where, like, he's making his tone so that in the future songs he's like, no, this is the tone that I want, into whatever, whoever's recording with them to match that, so that later on he's not in hindsight being, crap, how do I try and match this to that,
Yeah. Hey, ditto, actually, in a lot of ways. So I'm excited. Anyway, gear stuff.
Decibel 45, I do want to come back to your question. I saw it, and I want to make sure it gets asked. But real quick, since it is tied up in what we're talking about, Anthro asked, this album is a lot heavier sounding than the previous ones. Are there specific ways the band wanted to approach the production differently? And then, Dune, how did you realize that?
Yeah, the last, I'll start, and then kind of we can bounce back and forth.
Sorry.
When it started, with the last album, we basically had just become a full band. It went from being a duo to now a 5-piece. Basically, as we were writing, half the album was written. It was going into the studio. I knew I wanted it to be heavier, and there was going to be a full band, so it needed to be heavier. But it wasn't a fully formed and realized rock band yet, even when that album was done. And then we became heavier in our live shows as we got heavier drummers and as we figured out our tone. And,
I was like expecting it to be the first formation.
Yeah.
So the first rehearsal, I was like, this is too loud.
Yeah, our first shows, I played acoustic guitar even with the full band.
Yeah, I was like,
And
this
it's
is far
like-
too loud.
Joe just stopped playing violin just to cover her ears and
I'm
be
just
like,
like,
You're like, no, I don't like it. Yeah, because I was a huge metalhead growing up, and I was sneaking in metal riffs from even in the beginning.
Zach wore the kind of pants with zippers on them.
Yeah.
I saw pictures.
That is... You're playing my parent very well right now.
Oh, I forgot about that.
No, it sounds like the way my parents would have described it too.
He had too many zippers
There
on
were
his
lots
pants.
of zippers on
Zippers.
those
Stop
pants.
looking at me. Shh, 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 shh.
Some of them didn't even open to anything.
I know. I still have the chains though. Anyway,
couldn't sneak
you're making
anywhere.
puppets out of them.
yeah,
I couldn't. I
exactly.
tried.
If you'd saved the zippers, I could have done something with that too.
Yeah, so we became a heavier band. So anyway, by the time, and that was always kind of the intention, because I loved what we did when it was a scampy little folk band, but always wanted it to be heavier and bigger as well, and just as theatrical and melodic, but it to be bigger. So we became heavier in our live shows, and then it kind of worked. We would play a show, people would have seen or heard something beforehand, or they get the album after and they're like, oh, you're very different live. So that was Anthro. To get around to your question, that was definitely an intention going into it with him. It was like, you had seen us live, you knew that we were much heavier, you knew that the sneaky breakdowns that I've been writing in since day one, I was like, they're not gonna be sneaky anymore.
Because I remember, I think that was one of the first conversations I had about ideas for recording, was like with fancy dancing and stuff like that. There's a cool breakdown on the, like, it's
Yeah.
I love it.
it's like,
sneaky.
no, because when you the best way to get ideas for how big or small or big or intimate a recording should be for a band is to really just go to their show several times. So you know, seeing Fable Cry live at the time at the album release show, I could see how big you wanted it to be. Like it between, you know, how much energy you were putting into the song and how it looked like you were about to break your acoustic guitar, and you know, just like how hard Nick at the time was drumming, and yeah, like there was so much, and it was trying to be so big, but it felt so contained. And especially on the album, it's easy to minimize how big and hard hitting the songs can be, because you're so focused on making sure it's engineering correctly. So it's, you know, you're wanting the levels to match, and you're wanting to not be too much of that, and you want things to be evened out. And a lot of times if you focus too much on that, it ends up just being flat the whole time. There's not a lot of, you know, big parts or small parts. It doesn't change a lot. And so one of the things that I wanted to make sure we focused on with the album was just, you know, let's break as many rules as possible and have just waterfalls of guitars on parts, and just, you know, like crank up the kick and the snare. Like, don't worry too much about, you know, the cymbals in certain parts, because you just want to boom, smack, you know, like, you know, like let's go through these stages of songs to where, like, it opens up with what, like, the image you get of with Reapers, when it opens up, it always makes me think of like some old black and white film of a train robbery, and the train is going by, and like Zach's on top of the train, like, you know, and then it goes into dum, dum, bam, 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 which is kind of like this dancey part, and then the chorus comes and it's just this huge epic metal, like, ba-da-da-da-dun-dun. It's huge. And so to be able to go through these movements with so many different instruments going on, like there's no way I would have been able to make it hit hard or be big in any aspect if I was so focused on, you know, making the whole song sound like the beginning, which was like fun but contained. You know, it has to be able to open up at certain parts.
You even got me and Ida to sing opera.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, which I discovered was
freaking
possible
secret
during that time.
We needed it.
I had known you both for so long. And
Like, can you go higher? And I was like, okay. And you were like, can you go higher? And I was like, you were like, can you go higher? We were both like,
I was like, wait, you both can do that?
I was like, can you do like I was like, are you classically trained? And you were like, yeah, some. And I was just like, can you sing like operatic? And you're like, oh yeah. And I was like, what the hell? We could have done this the whole time.
you're like, more vibrato, bigger. And I'm just like, I remember looking at you guys after, like, and you were both like,
yeah. So we ended up sticking it on like everything.
everything.
To do it. So
Me and Ida,
so
by the end
much
of
of
the day,
that.
were like, no more.
Oh my god.
That's why I like the ending of 6 Feet. Just
Oh god.
like
More.
It's like the Phantom of the opera. This is too musical nerdy specific, but he's like, "Sing for me, my angel,"
Yes.
and she's like, and he's like, "Keep going,
Keep going.
That was Dune.
It's true.
But there was no boat. Okay, I'm sorry.
There's no boat.
No.
And
There will be a boat next
And
time.
I really hope I'm not a creep like the Phantom.
No.
That
One
guy-
hand up.
That character does not hold up in today's
Notice
environment.
how we only saw half of his face
That's
for
true.
a while.
No.
And then we discovered Jillian could do it too.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of opera.
We've just been
The opera babies.
Yeah. Opera babies.
There was something we were recording and doing lower and lower, and you're like, Zach, can you do it like super low? Like, apparently not. I just thought I could stumble into this. No.
Oh, that's really funny. Decibel 45 asked a while ago. So it's easy to imagine how COVID has changed things. How has streaming itself changed things for the band? Parentheses, if at all.
Ooh. Well, it's changed a bunch individually, especially for those who are streaming full time, which we can get into. I think as far as how it's affected the band, this whole Festival of Ghouls was supposed to be live, and it always is a live show. So the fact that we had to stream the whole thing and do all of this, what we're doing now that we're releasing, was not the initial plan. And releasing the album.
We were always known as kind of like
Virtually.
one of the things to do for Halloween.
Right.
So
Yeah.
then when that wasn't given to us, we're like, oh no. But once again, Dune to our rescue, we had one crazy day where we just
That was a lot.
So much.
we
a
filmed
lot.
4 live
What?
performances.
What was it? What song was it? Where, because the way that it was set up, it was me and my fiance and a bunch of cameras on tripods, and we were just like, and I
And
was
this
also
is
recording.
to specify it's all the stuff with the full band that you've
Yeah.
been seeing. That's
That you've been seeing in these
with the lights
releases.
and in kind of the studio space where we're changing.
Right. So the main space that they were filmed is directly next to the recording studio. So we were going. I had brought everything to the other the whole recording setup to the other side of the room to be closer to all that, so that I could record everything while filming everything and kind of go back and forth. And so we would start all the cameras, and then I would run into the next room, hit record in the studio, and then run back into that room. And we're like, all right, 3, 2, ah! And then like have them click the sticks and go for it. And then there was one time where I think it was Reapers. Was it Reapers?
Yeah.
Where like we filmed it and like Scott, it was like the first take, and Scott was like, done, we got it.
Yeah.
Like he was so confident with it. He just like threw off his bass and like left the room. I'm gonna get some air, and then
Because it was
then,
so
like,
hot.
and it was
That
yeah,
was-
it got real
it was
hot in
so
there.
hot in there.
And then so we were all feeling confident about it, and then I run in there and it didn't record. I don't know if I accidentally hit
forgot
record
what
twice,
happened.
which is just stopped. But I just remember going back to Scott. Hey man, I'm really sorry.
Yeah, but all these videos,
and it was like,
we were just sprinting, all of us, the
Oh, yeah.
entire time. Like right when we
Yeah.
got it, Dune was like making sure all the batteries were recharged, and Lindsay as well. Just totally, and Lindsay was also going back and making sure my hair was fine, and like
Yeah.
that
yeah,
we're,
we're
Yeah.
touching up. We're like melting our makeup off.
Yeah.
and
yeah,
it's
just
like,
powdering
dab,
us
dab, dab,
just
dab.
desperately.
Like that was a huge difference where we normally would have. I mean, we always work in like as small a team as possible with all of the stuff that we do.
Yeah.
But it had to be smaller because we were in our quarantine bubble, and that was all of us. It was like,
And
like
then-
I don't know who else can help us. Like,
And then like
so
the lighting in
there's a lot of
between
doubling up.
was different for every song.
yeah,
Right,
the lighting
yeah.
and our costumes are different in all of them, so we're changing in between.
Yeah.
And then reapplying or changing makeup.
all one day.
all in one day.
And I think what was going on at that point, I was I was traveling.
Yeah, you were gonna be out of town for the weekends that everyone was available.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we were having to coordinate with your schedule and Surly Urchin's schedule.
So I remember. I think I remember.
And the band schedule.
And the band schedule.
It was a lot.
I think I remember editing the music like on an airplane. And then, like in the hotel, and trying to get the audio done as soon as possible, and then chopping up all the video as soon as possible, and syncing it with the song, and like sending it to Zach. What do you think about this? And like,
he's like, I just landed. What do you think? Like,
and meanwhile, we're in your dining room filming the next one. And
Yeah.
I think it's good.
Looks great. I don't know. Just like,
We broke a camera as well.
Oh,
for
God.
next shoot, and we were like, oh my god.
yeah, not one of yours, fortunately, but the one we were
This
trying
is
to
how
use
we're
for.
telling you.
Yeah, we broke one of his cameras, and
so when you go to the third shelf of your, like you'll notice.
It was. That was. Oh my god.
Surly just said, "You guys juggle so many more than 3."
That's true.
Pretty accurate.
But I mean, I would assume that for you guys, the COVID is forcing you to stream more.
Yeah.
Play out.
Yeah.
So like it's like you don't have a lot of other options at the moment.
Yeah, certainly for Joe, because you are. By the time it started, you were already doing music full time, so you had other studio gigs and written, in-person shows that you were doing. When those two basically went away, you were like, hey, all right, this thing I've been doing a little bit, like, and you were well on your way with streaming, but like,
and my roommate moved out too, so I was like, mortgage, oh my god, like I am so done.
Yeah, like I had a day job, fortunately, so
just,
like you for sure things changed financially. And
what I think it helped us with though is I think all of us fall victim to like putting most of our energy into thing that we really sincerely enjoy, which for Fablecraft for a while and still is obviously live performance and writing new material.
Yeah.
So I think the positive from this is it has forced us to be like more engaged with the audience, being like, hey, we haven't been able to play a show for a while, but like we still want you to know we care about this, and like we're gonna find ways to make it work. And you guys, Zach texted us about maybe holding a date for a show, and the whole group was like, oh my god,
yeah.
Oh my god.
Is it?
But we're still going to make sure that the lessons we've learned in quarantine through doing stuff like this stays.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Yeah, I mean we've definitely got a broader audience now than ever before. Through you and Andrew and you streaming and us doing things online and doing Festival of Ghouls and meeting a bunch of artists that then brought it together. So many more opportunities where all of that time would have been spent playing locally or regionally or as far as we can travel. But we have fans from all over now and new friends and people that we're gonna want to keep in contact with.
Yeah, we'll come into your cities, baby.
And
We'll
come to you.
We can drive as long as we need.
Yeah.
I wonder how, like, I mean, from what I understand, I think like the Live Nation as a company has just been doing fine during COVID, but I wonder, like once everything starts opening back up and bands start going on tour again, like I think like every band in the world is be like, we're going on tour, come see us.
Yeah.
And like the like I think live shows are gonna come back so strong to where just like the most unknown bands are gonna have sold out shows because it's just like, is there a show tonight? Yeah, let's go to that one too. It's just everything's up pinched toes right now.
Double up, let's do it.
I know. I'm very curious to see the state of everything because it's it's gonna be. I'm very much looking forward to it, and it feels like we're on the.
I mean, even being musicians, going to shows for networking purposes, where like just because we were so in it, we would just be like, oh, we should go to this show sometimes
We were going to shows almost every weekend.
But
and
like the
during
word
Yeah.
choice kind of changed. You know,
Yeah.
before it was like, okay, let's make sure we go here because we really like this person, we want to support them. But now it's just like music.
I
Let's
wanna
go.
see a show.
Like, I want to go.
I know it's close. We're half and fully vaxxed, I think, between all of us.
Yeah, I'm getting my
Mhm.
second
So
on Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's exciting.
Have you gotten yours?
I've gotten the first. I get the
Shoot, yeah.
second. I don't know, in a week or two.
That's wonderful.
Whenever,
Kinda
I got my
soon.
second last week.
whenever
so
my fiance says that we're leaving the house and going to get our second shot,
There
that's
you
when
go.
we-
That's wonderful. It's any day. Well, hopefully soon. Yeah, it feels nice. It feels nice feeling like we're near the end of this, and yet I do feel like we've really made the most of it and enjoyed the time and
And I feel so
Took
grateful
some
that
time.
our innermost circle as well was the original team that did
Oh,
this
God, yeah.
regardless.
Yeah.
Because we took quarantine so seriously where I didn't see you two for a long time.
Yeah.
at
It was
first.
months.
I've only
Yeah.
seen Jillian like once or twice in
Yeah.
the past year.
yeah.
Like we've all made sure that if we were seeing anyone in person, it was
Yeah.
each other. And
Mhm.
just
Do you remember
Yeah.
when it first started and like Zach and I were living together, but we were on separate floors, so we were still like keeping a
I
distance.
know.
Yeah, no,
We
the
were still
two
just
of
like,
us were living
should I-
downstairs, and
I've
then it
been-
was like waving at each other from the different floors
He
in the
had,
house.
he had these dumbbells.
It's like I went to the
I
store. I
couldn't-
guess I'll see you in a week or two.
You had these dumbbells that you put out in the studio, and I couldn't go to the gym, so I was like, "Can I use your dumbbells?" And I remember going to get them, and you're like, "Listen, you can use them. Heads up, I had a slight cough earlier. I don't know what it means." And I was just like, and like we were so panicked. It's like, what does it
Oh
mean?
man, I know. I know.
Man.
There was so much like justifiable paranoia for so much of the time because we were knowing people who were getting it rough, and
yeah.
it's like, oh, I don't want that.
In
It's
my
like,
in my phone,
who were also being safe, and it was like, you can get it then too.
in my phone memories, it popped up the video that I took of because I used to feed you all like the leftovers, you know, like from dinner and stuff like that. Because it sounds so bad.
That does
It does.
It's
It's like
in my
really
basement. I
pitiful.
fed you my
just
scraps.
put them at the top of the stairs and would send me a message, and I'd be like,
But I put
Dinner's ready, Ida.
Underground goblins.
on a plate and I put it at the top of the stairs, and I took a video of just the food was sitting there, and like the food was sitting there, and then all of a sudden you see these little hands getting.
Take it off screen.
Thank you, Dylan.
If we find it, we'll put it in the Discord.
Yeah,
It's
you
so
should.
awesome. It's so funny.
We've
Oh my goodness.
we're making it through.
Mhm.
I nearly forgot one of the events happening right now.
When can we record more?
What?
You know what I'm talking about. Well, there's something that you
I-
also used to do. Well, I'll
Zach.
answer. Soon.
Oh,
No, there was.
Oh, I should be
There's so. Hopefully soon. We've been working on a bunch of material. Wanted to basically we were like, let's milk the last little bit of Fool Me Once while we can, and like make all of this public and share it, tell the story, talk about how it was done, all the people involved, and then we can get to making more music. I have been writing so much, and it feels very exciting. Focused so much on this album, Fool Me Once, and it was very exciting to live in that world. And then I apparently had just a bunch of other songs like pent up. So
Just waiting in the
I
wings.
have too many songs, and it's a good problem to have. But now it's like I don't know what's first. But anyway, yes, we're gonna do more, and we're gonna do more with you, Dune, because
Wouldn't
my God.
it be nice?
then
if we-
I'm just no
Only
this
if you guys
album.
want to have me again. I don't
No,
want to
this,
assume that like, well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
When are we gonna do the next 3 albums?
When's the next? No,
Yeah.
well, that was like going. We hadn't done the Nightmare Before Christmas thing, and that was like my only hesitation with moving in with you was like, what if we don't work together well at all? And now I work with him, but now I'm like working with a different producer, but live with him. And I was like, I gotta take this risk. And then we did the Nightmare song, and it was like, this sounds better than anything we've ever done. I want all of the new songs to sound like this. And then they sounded way better because we just got
What
got
was the
so
first
good at
Nightmare
working
song
together.
that you did? Was it Oogie
Sally's
Boogie?
song
Oh,
was the first
Sally's
one we
song.
did.
Oogie Boogie
Yeah.
is probably one of the
I
our
love
favorite
Oogie Boogie.
songs
My
that we.
favorites.
I
I
love
love
Oogie
Oogie
Boogie.
Boogie.
Olivia
It's
still
so
likes me to
good.
play that song. Olivia, my youngest, who just turned 10, who you should put the video, or you did put the video online. But she asked me to play
So
for her
good.
last week. It's so good.
It's so good.
He made a video for my youngest daughter's 10th birthday, and it's hysterical.
It's
Oh, is that the
amazing.
skull one?
Yeah.
Oh, that was
for her,
amazing.
Yeah.
When I first played it, I got to I stopped it because I laughed so hard.
This little skull I puppeteered and gave a good birthday
But she
wish.
loved it so
I'm
much.
so glad.
She likes the Oogie Boogie song because you guys had me be Santa.
Yes,
Sorry.
we did. Oh yes,
Yes.
because there's the part where it's where
we
it's
were
like,
gonna-
what are you gonna do? And at first, like in the previous ones, there are a few characters in that who have a similar voice. The mayor is one of them, and Joe had played the mayor during that. So we're like, oh yeah, like Joe, you should do Santa. That'd be great. You'd do it great. And like we got to doing it, and it just sounded real wrong.
Very inappropriate.
It was very inappropriate to like this very aggressive man, and then this like
It was
pleading.
bad.
It wasn't great. It was like, oh, this song got way darker than it was even before.
It was just me in the studio, me, Zach, and Dune. So Zach already recorded his vocals as Oogie Boogie. I tried to do Santa. We were all unanimously were like, no.
This feels weird.
So we both looked at you, just like, Dune Santa? And Dune is the best Santa.
Dune
It's
is
true.
the best Santa. Dune is real life Santa.
It's true.
I have like 3 grays somewhere, but I'm hoping that when it comes, I don't know if you can tell in a live stream, but I have duo tones going on. So
Your
I'm
beard comes in very red.
very dark brown, Lindsay calls it fire engine red.
Got your red beard.
And
Yes.
then I have 3 little grays. So hopefully, hopefully when they all
Which
come in,
was
it's
which?
just gonna go.
I don't know.
I would love to go full Santa white. If it comes.
I'm
in.
sure it will happen.
Sooner or
St.
later.
Nicholas was a ginger beard, at least.
That's
Was he?
according
Yeah.
to
according
the
to
Rankin Bass
the
production of
Rankin
it.
Bass
Stop motion.
And he was probably. He was probably Middle Eastern as well.
He just like half Irish, half Middle Eastern, just
Just
like
like
you. This is a fact. Dune, there was something else that you used to do. You used to play a lot of music, and you used to play a lot of music and run sound in a certain beloved old venue.
Yes.
And you did a few things there.
Yes. Oh, I forgot we're doing. Yes.
Me too. As
for
we're an
any-
hour in.
For anyone who is a Nashville native watching right now, if you remember the Muse, the venue downtown, it's where bands had to pay their dues in Nashville. So a lot of
paid your dues at the Muse.
and a ton of the bands that went through Nashville, like typically when they were super small, like their first couple tours, they played the Muse. It was grungy. It was Nashville's CBGBs, and then they moved on to like an Exit N, and then they became huge. I was sound engineer. That's where I got my start in the music industry as a sound engineer. And then in the apartment above it, Logan, the owner, and I, we were body piercers. And so
the trays.
wow.
Because you remember his old
Yes.
band.
Yes. It's past 9 o'clock. I don't think my mother is watching anymore.
No,
My
she
mother-
did comment just a moment ago. So.
Did she?
Yes.
Oh,
Well,
well,
she knew you were. Did she know you were in that band?
she didn't until my
Nah.
singer and I.
Just now.
No, until my singer and I attempted to order merch to sell at our shows. And she texted me, and she's like, "Yeah, saw the package that you had sent to the house. I threw all that away."
Oh, man.
We didn't have the most appropriate band name, but Mom, it wasn't my idea. I joined Travis's band. But anyways,
Look.
I was a body piercer.
Dude is innocent.
Barbara, I can vouch for him. This is a good man,
He's
and
the
we're
goodest of good boys.
we're bringing the band back together.
And Tracy would know. I pierced Tracy at one point.
Wait, because you also used to pierce there,
Yeah. So
didn't you?
I did.
Well,
Did you grab the towel?
I would like you to do me the honor
Oh, wow.
Of- giving me a Dune special. Not that one. The one we can stream.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to get pricked.
Okay.
Where?
Choose your jewelry.
Oh, I actually brought my own.
Oh, someone came prepared.
Yes.
What?
I did not come prepared.
Royalty.
Oh.
Why are you so?
It's like in a little box, like it's a wedding ring.
I know, I feel like
Are you
someone want to
proposing?
present this to me?
Yeah.
Or should I film it at artsy
And also,
angles?
Yeah,
Yes.
this one. The one that
Here.
hasn't been done just
You want to
yet.
cover your ruffles?
Yes.
Just in case.
Oh, sure. A little towel.
This is just like the Parent Trap.
This is.
It is. Get the apple.
Would you mind grabbing like a pen, or especially if there's like a fine point Sharpie or something?
Oh,
there's
yes.
a felt tip pen. Oh, there's also a Sharpie. What?
So I've been
which would
talking
you
about.
prefer?
I've had this. I pierced this ear. I don't know how much of my family is here in this chat right now still, but I pierced the ear in my parents' home bathroom, and I wanted. I've been talking about this for a minute, and I wanted you to do it.
I want to make sure that I.
Should I take this
Match
out,
them.
or is this nice?
That's
He doesn't need me to take this out. This is...
What's nice is my mom knows that I was a body piercer because I actually pierced my mother's ears.
She just said that in the chat.
This is a great question, cause the one that Joe just asked, because it came with a whole bunch of that.
I assume one.
Like, none
this
of them
is
are
probably
cute, but-
16 gauge. That's probably 14 gauge. So they're probably different sizes.
I think the one that's this one.
Oh my god! Yes, I have this, but the other one fell out.
Well, you're in luck
Oh my god!
because we're not gonna use that one.
Oh, Tails is here. Hey, buddy.
Today we're doing a piercing party.
We're doing
There's
a
a piercing party
piercing party.
happening just now.
With Dune Baydoun,
I kinda wanna
the
do
Bay.
this too.
And now I want to do one since everyone else
mean,
is.
It's a piercing party.
I kind of
It
want
might
that
be a
as well.
piercing
I got
party.
this side, but I want to do this side too.
I don't have anything but these, and this was
Let me see this guy.
when I was 16. I had it done at a kiosk in a mall by another 16-year-old.
Claire's. I went
So-
to Claire's.
There
He
you go.
is very good. I've seen some of your work. You know,
On Tracy.
on Tracy.
I don't think she has them anymore though. It was her lip, if I recall.
I've seen pictures of your work. Evidence.
Should we tuck in the towel?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
wanna-
probably so.
I wear this shirt a lot too, so
This is for you.
this is for me.
I'm like, I don't
This
know.
is the
Blood
shirt I
might
wore
get
for
on it, but
guillotine.
also is that doesn't totally not make sense.
Does this hurt?
I might fake
Taking the video.
No, it feels good.
You look so good.
Do you like my new piercing?
Dude,
It's done,
did
guys.
such a good
It's a
job.
dangler.
I do want you, however, to make sure that you keep this super, super clean. So lots of, do you have
Like gin
yes. do you,
and just
do you have contacts?
saliva.
Yes.
Okay, contact solution.
Perfect.
Oh.
I've got
Don't
like
use-
saline solution.
Yeah, don't
Life
use.
hack.
If you use soap, use like Dial or just like Lever 2000, like the most like.
What
soap.
about Dawn?
Just soap. Try and stay away from anything that has perfume or anything that.
Oh
like,
yeah, we have a
scents.
lot of fragrance-free soap because
Awesome.
I'm a baby.
So that is key, especially
Scheme.
since I don't know if these have been properly sanitized or not.
Do should we
I mean,
disinfect them with something? I
we
don't
can use
know.
the alcohol
Rub them
swab.
Oh, there we
down
go.
with the
Typically,
swab.
you
Yeah.
use the like essentially like a pressure cooker for metal that just heats it up to hell, and then
Oh, I actually have a lighter.
oh no, it should be fine. Like with the alcohol should be fine.
See?
Just
This
keep
is
it
what
super
they look
clean.
like, just in case.
Okay, so
Are we gonna
Are
do
you
like
ready?
a countdown or like
We
are you
can.
just gonna go for it? Should we kiss? Like before or after?
Alright,
I don't know
well,
how it
okay.
works.
So breathe in, and then breathe out. Super easy.
Yay!
Oh.
fast!
Yay.
Ooh.
How's it feel?
Feels great. It wasn't. I felt it. I'm not gonna pretend I didn't, but it was.
It's still
You were
there.
gentle. Is it still there?
So
Just leave it.
here's the thing for
Yeah.
people watching. The reason
Look at these
why you want to
muscles.
do these needles and go to a professional piercer when you want to do even just your ears.
Mhm.
Any piercing that you want to do, you definitely want to go to a professional and not a kiosk in the mall because
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend it.
oopsie, the
They're
kiosk
crooked.
Yeah, mine are off center.
they use a gun,
Aw.
and the gun doesn't use a hollow point needle.
Oh.
Oh.
The hollow point needle is important because it takes a chunk of skin, of flesh, and you put the jewelry through. He had some. I gave him wine earlier.
I'm a bleeder.
So
Should we make it black and white?
the hollow point needle,
Is it too much?
it takes the flesh out around the
You
jewelry
look surprised.
There was a lot of blood on the ground.
and matches your lips.
Oh, perfect. I did this on purpose.
So
I'm always
the hollow point needle allows it to heal around the jewelry and so it's healing as a whole.
Okay.
Whereas the punch gun from Claire's
shove.
shoves it right in, and your
Right.
body is like, I don't want this in.
And then it like
And so the moment you take it out, even after it's been like years, your body's still gonna be like, oh, we need to close that up, which happened to my mom several times. And she had to keep re-piercing her ears over and over
That's rough.
until I was of body piercing age to
And
do it
that-
for her, and she's never had an issue since.
That's awesome.
That is wonderful. Yeah, we had a. I didn't know that you could just get these kits online. So at the time, my mom knew to use the hollow needles, so we used a little syringe needle from like a feed store. It was for like giving medicine to your pets.
Oh.
Yeah, in Lebanon, Tennessee, pets like cows and things.
And I would say,
So-
do you have any Aquaphor?
Do we have aqua?
I
Or
don't think so.
Aquaphor, or I said like KY. That's good as well.
All right.
To help with that. But Aquaphor is great,
Would
especially
coconut
tattoo
oil work?
artists will tell you the same thing. Aquaphor is great for piercings, tattoos, all that stuff. You don't want to use Neosporin.
Okay.
Neosporin wants to get things out of your body,
Okay.
whereas Aquaphor wants to prevent things from being infected and also provide moisture so it doesn't dry out. So you don't want that to dry out.
We could get some later.
Yeah. So clean
Where's
it
that?
with
Where's that
Q-tips.
mirror? Is there
and-
a mirror still back here?
Oh no, it's in the living room.
I don't even know what I look like. Oh, there I can see it in the stream. Look at that, a little
And then
pearl.
here's your other one to match.
Oh, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. Oh yeah.
Is it even? I tried to make sure that
I
they
think
were
so.
even.
I think it looks perfect. Put in the other one.
Yay!
I feel fancy.
Daddy's approved.
Yes.
Daddies
Oh.
think Dune can stay.
Oh, wonderful.
Yes, daddies approve of
The
Dune.
daddies
Oh.
approve.
Hey.
I did this at, in one of my college classes. I did like the whole thing for this brave young woman who allowed me to pierce her cartilage in front of the whole class. And the whole thing was about sanitation and safety and cleanliness. And then as I'm putting, like she wanted the hoop. So like as I'm putting the ball, clicking it into the hoop, it drops on the floor. So after giving this like 45-minute speech on how important it is that everything needs to be cleaned and sanitized properly, like that happens, and I quickly 5-second rule, and I just pick it up and pop it back in, and then I get like a standing ovation. That's great.
Yes, and that's how it was done at the Muse too.
Oh
Yes.
man.
Thank you, Dune.
You're so
welcome.
amazing.
Are you wanting to be pierced as well?
I kind of want to do cartilage.
Do it.
Is that
I can do it.
too risky?
No.
The only thing I'd want to do first is if I can put something in this one that pre-exists to make sure they're the same height.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
You
got.
have to
I mean,
shove it through.
would one of
Yeah.
these suffice?
It would be, yeah, you'd probably want to go for the 14 gauge,
Oh.
which is the slightly larger.
Do you need a hair tie, Joe?
Is
Yeah.
that the? Which one did you end up?
Got one in the other
Which
room.
needle did you end? I guess it's this one.
Are we?
I think we can auction off these needles at the end of the stream. You know, like we did
The
with the
used
glasses. Yeah, the used
Gonna
ones,
squeeze
of
behind
course.
you.
And also this little.
Do you have any
This
more
one.
alcohol
This looks
swabs?
pretty good.
Oh.
we should have some. Glad you're learning more than you expected for this. You know, yeah, I've been talking about doing it for a bit, and did you get my text earlier
Yes.
about it?
I was
So
just
you've been-
teaching all day, so
you've
it's
been,
like.
And it may be easier for you to sit in that
Zach
shit.
said I'm not allowed to sit
Oh.
center ever.
This is fine.
He was like, remember who's center stage.
Yeah, I can lean in. Don't worry, I'm bigger.
So this is the pre-existing.
It's fine, Raisin Nuts. It's fine. It just,
Turn toward
you know, we'll
Really?
burn them with the light.
Oh, you want me? So you
with
want
the
me
lighter or
to?
something.
That's
That'll
one
be
that
fine.
already exists.
Okay, so you want me to
Do
match
a
it?
mirror, yeah.
Gotcha. So
Oh shoot, yeah.
We don't have the alcohol. We have witch hazel.
Would witch hazel suffice? The question we've all been wondering.
I don't know which one.
Oh.
Yeah, there's witch hazel and there's peroxide.
If Juliet's watching this, she's so mad.
Oh, Tone,
I've
good to
made
see you,
the-
man.
I've
Thank you for
made-
coming. Tone, I'm not.
Oh.
Do you know Tone? Joe?
What? Tony.
Just Tone.
Yeah.
It's
Tone, thank you
it's
so
very
much for
late. Thank
coming.
you for coming. I hope you have a great
Also,
night and
come-
sweet dreams.
Tone asked about the phony puppets, and we will be talking
Oh,
about
yes.
those. Is it next week
So-
that Ryan's going to be?
No, the week after
Week
that we're
after.
going to be. In
Directly
2
after.
weeks
So
we're
come
going to be
back in
doing
2
some of the
weeks and
phony
we'll talk
puppets.
about
We're going to be
that.
doing a little more deep dive into
little bit more
those,
here.
and we probably just need an all-out
Right.
puppet stream. There's so many
Yeah.
puppets involved.
Okay.
Mallory,
Do you
you got it. Do you
still want hair tie or a clip?
Oh, probably not.
I think it's right in there.
Right in there.
So actually, so do you have jewelry
No.
great.
for that one? Is it a current hole?
Yeah, this is a
Okay.
current hole.
Okay. Do you remember
and you
what
want to put a hole
size?
in that?
I guess there's standard jewelry size.
Like does it
That would have been my answer too. It's
Yeah.
like does it look kind of like thick like that or kind of
The tiny.
tiny?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Itty bitty.
And is there Jewelry that you want?
I'm more of a stud than a ring gal. Oh, yes, I'm a stud. I get it.
Yeah.
Oh, sitting in center seat, the power's going for me.
I know, it's contagious.
Ooh.
Well, you're wearing it well, I gotta say. It's like you've had it before.
What?
The power.
Something is about to bust. Obscure.
You're gonna get
reference.
pierced too? Mal?
Oh, yeah, kind
Ida?
Don't tell my mom.
Hey,
Betsy, look the other way.
don't look now.
It's not my belly button.
Well, not yet. There's a lot of needles here. I mean,
Can we gauge my belly button
I
so
mean-
it's like I have 2 belly buttons?
that would be awesome.
Okay, so the main idea being.
Yeah, I think pickport you can get. Sorry, we got some more people or
Oh, it's okay.
want to get pierced.
Oh, well, someone has a stapler apparently.
Oh, that's perfect.
As
Oh.
long as you have alcohol swabs.
Right.
The stud is gonna have to go that way. That's good. So like the ball would be on the opposite end.
Oh, the pin point will be towards us?
Yes, for healing purposes.
Okay.
Because it's easier to basically, needle goes in, this goes inside the needle, push it through.
Did you know about that?
Okay.
I was gonna shift the camera so that you
And
can
then
see
once
it, but you can't see
after
through here.
a couple
so
weeks-
this is like a later thing.
And it's completely healed up. You can
Sorry.
switch
Do
that
you
real
want me
quick.
to film from this
So in a
angle?
couple weeks,
Sure,
I
check
can
it
just
out.
scratch at your
See
door
what that
like
one's like.
like an animal being like, "You told me."
Yeah, I think whiskey
Yes.
swabs would be just fine. We got that.
Turn this way. Just want to make sure that I got the.
Oh. It looks like you're wearing an arm mask.
I think it needs to be lower.
This is much more attention than the girl at Claire's gave me.
Well,
Right.
she was probably what, 14?
Probably
Probably her first job.
First job, and you were her first piercing.
I think that's right.
Her hands were like this the whole time.
Oh, I'm sure.
Oh no! Oh no!
You're doing great.
It locks, doesn't it?
I do.
See, I didn't have that fancy thing when I did mine, that's for sure. That looks like a lot better. And it's fashionable. Joe, you look stupendous.
Now you have to turn
At least
a
it-
lot towards me. There you go. All right. Breathe in. Breathe out. I like the noise that one made.
That was nice.
I thought you meant me. And I was like, what did I do?
that one, Joe.
Alright, be still. You got,
Oh,
you got
it
needle
looks
poking
great.
out.
It's right in there. Can you see this?
Alright, turn towards me.
I'm trying not to block the light.
Oh, here. I'll give a little. Because it's a nice little. You can check these videos out later on and get a nice up close and personal.
I'm
A
never
view
gonna
of
get
it.
dumped mid-recording now ever again.
No
Yes, I look
way.
beautiful.
It's so small. I just want to get the ball on.
I don't know. Dude, what's the craziest thing you've ever pierced? You pierced the muse, you pierced a lot of things.
I did. Pretty much. You know.
Everything that can be pierced.
I know I do. I know. But
That didn't even hurt.
Because you're so big.
Yeah. I remember
I see what you
waiting
mean.
in
Right.
line.
It's a little dark in here for piercing.
So scooch. Whoop, there you go.
Oh,
remember-
there's some
Yeah,
shift.
there's another light
Here,
I can
wait.
turn on.
Oh, perfect.
That-
The more light, the better.
There you go. I wanted to make sure and leave some room. Anthro, I feel bad for everyone involved in the Claire's piercing. I hope that they've either moved to other pastures, or perhaps upgraded, you know? Maybe they've gotten so good. You started at Claire's before Muse, didn't you, Dune?
No.
It was you the whole time.
Before the Muse, it was Papa John's.
I feel like that would be very distracting to like 13-year-old girls walking in there. And they'd be like,
Hey.
what?
You want to get your ears pierced? I can hook you up.
Oh, she's a bleeder.
Yay!
We did
You
it.
look great.
Oh, you look great.
You look great.
Oh, you do.
I do.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, we do.
Mm.
Oh.
So, saline solution.
Oh, yes.
And no smelly soaps.
That's easy. Yeah.
It's so easy.
I'm excited. I feel like the rush of life right now.
That was so exciting. Are you
Do you want to?
I
getting?
want to get something. I don't know what.
Do you have time? Or
I do have time. Do we have more gloves?
do we have more gloves?
That is a question.
You guys dye your hair all the time.
I
You guys
know, but
must have.
I use rubber gloves. Like I'm real gross about it. So
I mean, it should be. Fine.
It's just anything to keep like your fingernails out of it, right?
pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah, and
We
any
could
alcohol
always
that
do
you have.
mine off stream if that's.
I have.
You know, without gloves.
No, I have more. I know I have more gloves, and I know I have alcohol swabs
Ooh.
in my home.
Yes. Who said Thick Bog? We got some beehive in here.
Yes.
We did.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows?
We had-
you know
we
about
had-
beehive?
We had beehive.
Was
right
there
before the stream
somebody
up.
say something about beehive before this? Yes, Beehive is one of our favorite restaurants here in Nashville.
I feel like
It's
that
a-
might have just
keeps
been
us
lucky.
fed.
It's a vegan shop, and we eat there all the time. And Wednesdays was for
favorite.
sure. So
Roar. I said roar in chat.
That's great.
I've never felt so alive.
that's really kind of cool.
Yeah.
So
It's accurate. Well, saddle up, or if we need a.
We don't have any alcohol.
we don't
We
have
told-
any alcohol.
I
So
see. I see.
There's whiskey, but yeah, there's no
Well,
rubbing alcohol.
you
Could we
need
use
to.
whiskey?
I mean, you honestly, you could probably like. Don't take my advice.
This is where the professional wisdom
Yes.
pauses for a second, and
I was
now
like,
it's
we've
just
got-
regular.
Peroxide and witch hazel.
Maybe some peroxide, because that helps kill stuff.
Oh,
But
it was a Beyonce reference. Not at all.
Oh,
not
Not at all.
Not
the
the
vegan
Beehive.
restaurant here in
Not
Nashville.
the vegan restaurant.
That's fantastic. That little misunderstanding. We love Beyonce
But as soon
too,
as we're
of
done,
course.
Yes.
So
warm shower,
are magnificent. It's great.
antibacterial soap without
It's just
any scents
us
or anything
now,
like
isn't
that.
it?
So like
Just-
the dial, leave it 2000, all that just
In here.
basic
How's everybody still doing?
kill things.
Still
soap.
doing nice out there.
And
Still
then
enjoying
lots of cleaning
yourselves?
with
I'm enjoying myself.
contact solution.
Look
Sure.
at these.
Cool.
These little pearls.
What you want?
I feel nice.
I don't know. That's the thing. I didn't plan to do this. I didn't know everyone else was getting one. So, being Joe, let's see. I could do cartilage.
Mhm.
I've always wanted to get my nose pierced, but I feel like that's a lot for mask wearing times. So I'm gonna wait on that till we've moved past COVID a little bit more.
It's not that bad. As someone who works at a shop who had to still wear respirators and
that's
things
true.
after I pierced my nose, it's not that bad. I mean, it's not any worse than like sleeping or
Sure.
picking your nose or getting,
Sure.
I remember when I had my tongue pierced, Mom, she was very kind about helping me hide it from my dad.
Oh, that's great.
Didn't make you say any words with S's
So
in them. Or
yeah, like when you did a group
I had
Halloween costume, and
Well, I
she
had it
was like,
from-
"Don't worry, I'll be Gene Simmons."
Yes. I remember.
But Dune is always Gene Simmons. I don't get it. Why is he not? I'm always the cat.
No, did you ever see the South Park movie?
You know what? I haven't. Ain't that something?
Just I was the crow for Halloween and then the South Park movie came out and Satan dresses as a crow for Halloween and they make fun of him because they're like, you're just doing this so you could show off your muscles and stuff like that. And then I was just like, hey! I never dressed as the crow again. I felt attacked.
Oh man.
Because they were kind of
Here's
right.
the question.
Hey,
Should I
man.
do
Next time?
one
We'll let you
beside my
dress as
regular
crow and
piercing?
not worry about it.
Cartilage. Nose. Can you look at me like dead on?
Maybe we should get the.
You'd probably want to do an ear.
I want to do an ear.
I
That
think
feels
cartilage.
Because until we
intimidating.
have the best
the
stuff,
right stuff.
like a nose is
you can mess up the
easy
nose pretty
to
much.
get.
I do cartilage.
Yeah.
The nose
I'll do
has a lot of.
cartilage.
It
That's what I want.
secretes.
I'll do
You know, it's a
cartilage.
Could you
natural
grab
secretion.
a paper towel?
And so it's less. Hey, you're back.
Hey.
Hey. I guess I gotta move over.
You gotta move.
Do you want this?
Yeah. I got my new shirt on.
Got a good. Guys, this is just turning into a.
Peroxide.
Hey, you know, you can keep these
Hilarious. We do
questions
have
coming as
hand
far as the
sanitizer
band goes
with
because
alcohol.
and the album,
can,
all of
hand
us,
sanitizer.
we're gonna be hanging and
something
doing this
like
for a
that.
second.
No,
I got
Uh,
I don't think so. I don't know.
Oh man, yeah, Anthro, that's
Like right above.
it's tough
you want
when
it
when you
here
got a
or-
themed
Let's do
a costume
here.
together,
Yeah, it's
and
just
then
cartilage.
you all want to be the exact same thing.
This is hilarious.
Yeah, nobody's gonna be happy with the decision. So you skipped it entirely, I'm guessing.
I have
You
hand
just
sanitizer.
weren't able to.
Oh, hooray!
Is it scented?
Maybe
or is
next time.
Hand sanitizer?
It is scented.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, it's okay.
Exactly, Raisin Ox. We're just here because he's here and he's
There's some
too nice to
in
say
my
no.
car
We have
that
so
I
many.
don't think is scented. Do you have any unscented hand sanitizer in your car?
give you a little drop?
I can't remember if it's scented or not. I got it. I got a very large jug at a time when it was just difficult to find. So I just took one. All of that happened off camera, and I couldn't see it either. It was. I don't even need to know.
I had
Keep it a
less wine
mystery.
than you did, but just in case.
Oh, I didn't have very much.
I know, and I had less.
I had this much. I tend to be a bleeder regardless. When I got these tattoos, that's what he told me. He said, "Hey, son, you're a bleeder," and I said, "You're my son." And he said, "How could that work?" And I said, "Get back to work." And then he finished it.
I don't
But
know.
yeah, no, they
Okay.
they bled a lot, is what I'm saying. So,
I actually do like hoops better.
Jillian, get over
at
here.
first,
Let's put a hole in
because
you.
I
basically
would like a hoop.
soap them up and
yeah.
then just move them from side to side.
That's great.
That's perfect.
How fun.
And I heard Dune, you can confirm this, that salt water is good too. It kind
Salt
of
water is good, yes.
if you're in a bind or you don't have other things,
Mm-hmm.
you can just salt water. Just 1 part salt into some water that's more parts than that. And then just kind of like, well, then you got salt water.
I feel like we're doing, what do they call it? Blood brothers? Like when people used
Yeah.
to prick their
Oh
thumbs.
yeah,
and-
this is like
blood oath.
yeah. I feel
My
like
dad said he did it when he was a kid.
Oh.
he did a blood oath.
Ew.
What?
Sorry,
That's
Dad.
crazy, Dad.
I'm just saying you're a rebel, Dad.
Ah.
This is
He'll never not be a
Oh.
crip now.
when,
Ooh, you know what? No, I was checking on the Discord because there were some questions in there as well. Dusty
I
Chalk wanted to know what kind of cheese we liked,
Oh.
which seems appropriate because Dune loves cheese.
do
Not to
too.
speak for you, but
Like-
you know about the cheese.
Super old, stinky, crystallized Gouda.
Yeah.
That sounds awesome.
All right, breathe in, and then breathe out. feel?
wild.
They made the same sound. I don't know if you
It
guys
hurt
could hear.
less than my vaccine.
Right?
You got a hokey pokey.
Thick Porg did a blood oath for Taylor Swift.
Someday.
I only did a blood oath
Abby.
once.
Living in a big old city, and all you're ever gonna be is me.
I'm not gonna be able to do this sitting down.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's
Do you-
okay.
what can I do?
Oh, you're fine.
Add more
Okay.
chairs. Joe, bring some more chairs in here. We need more. Bring
I
the
have
curtain
a
closer.
camera.
That's fun.
That's
Thank you
perfect.
for capturing this. What was fun about when I was 16 and I got my ears pierced with my friend Betsy at this kiosk in the mall.
Betsy.
She went after me. I went first, and then like the girl like got the gun stuck on my ear, and
Yeah.
so that's why this one is crooked. And then when Betsy had hers done, the part of the gun that had the earring in it broke off, so she just looked like she had been tagged. Like she just had this big plastic thing just hanging off of her ear for like 15 minutes while this poor 14-year-old was just like, I don't know why you did that. I'm gonna get my manager. Like,
Yay, dude!
yay, thank you, dude.
Dude!
He pierced us.
Ah.
He pierced us.
Dune,
And you're
Hey.
not a bleeder.
Well, that's
it
great.
was a while ago that I did it, but I still
I
think
wanna
I know
see it.
how. You wanted me to pierce you?
Oh, I'm okay.
Yeah, can you just talk us through it?
Yeah, and we'll just be
fun.
like, well, I
How
remember I
fun.
did it like this, but I did have an apple. I did an apple.
You did the apple.
I did
trick.
the apple trick,
Very
and
parent
I did the
trick of you.
ice
So what?
ice and apple
What's
trick.
funny
It was
is
the whole thing.
so my oldest daughter,
I know.
who is 16, just started her first job at Jenny's. She
We saw
You
her.
saw her
Yeah,
the other day.
yeah,
That was awesome.
very kind of you.
She
So we went to go see her yesterday. So I think so last week was her first week of work. Her mom went to go see her, and then you guys went to go see her. We finally got to go see her this week at work, and it was yesterday. So like I'm going in, like I got Lucy and Lennon like jumping all over me, and like we're in the corner just waving to her like mannequins, you know. And I'm wearing all of Lindsay's earrings because I have 3 piercings in my ears. So just like big hoops, mask, and just like that. And apparently like Juliet's manager, not the most appropriate thing for a manager to say, but she tells her like, so your mom and your dad, they're very different from each other. and she's like, your mom's really well put together, because she probably dressed like really like nice, like got all like done up.
And you were like,
and I
had
go
just
in
come
there,
from like flipping
covered in
houses
earrings.
and
and
like
just
full
like,
long earrings, kids hanging off of me.
I
She's
know,
like,
like,
and she's like, your dad is, he's yeah.
Have a fun dad.
Yeah.
Hey. I'm a cool dad.
Yeah, and I was
that
like,
is
cool,
Dune
I
is
was like, that's a very accurate representation of me,
very funny.
and I love that. Yes, that's exactly who I want to be.
Perfect.
draped in
Here,
children
I'm
and
gonna
jewelry.
scoot so Joe can get back in the frame.
Well, my word,
For
you
our-
guys.
What did
Ah,
you sign off?
I know, we have had
great.
quite
I'm just gonna.
Thank you
go
so
right
much,
there.
dude.
Oh, you're so
quite
welcome.
an evening.
Such a fun
Thank you.
surprise. Yes, please. sit.
Thank you, Dune.
Here.
Thank you
You
for
can
for doing this, for being here.
it was my pleasure.
I wanted to give a shout out real quick and copy and throw this in here because
Yes,
uh,
please.
anybody who lives in Nashville knows this is going on, and then a lot of you around have maybe seen too, because it's been getting kind of noticed. So that link there. Our dear friends at Exit In are just on the verge of losing the whole venue for good and it being turned into a developing hotel. And that GoFundMe, they're trying kind of we're trying to buy it back basically from the developers.
I think this is like
just
our
bought
last
it.
shot.
Yeah.
Right? So, Mom, if you're still watching, if you can convince Dad. So, my parents saw Steve Martin at Exit In
Oh, wow.
They saw
long
that?
ago. She did. And, like, he talked about it in his book. Like, that specific show. Because he, at the time, he would end his show, but because of the way his comedy was, no one really knew when the show was ending.
Yeah.
So he would just kind of walk through the crowd and be like, all right, the show's over now. And they would just follow him and be like, yeah? Okay, what's next? And he's like, no, it's really over. And he would go into the street, get into a cab, wave to everybody. And they're just waving back. And they think the whole show has been brought outside. And so, like, my mom and dad were there. They went outside with him and just, like, watch him get into a cab, and he drove off. But then, like, he rounded the corner and came back and did something goofy. And stuff. But that's how important that this venue is to Nashville. There is, like, the reason Music City is called Music City, like, Exit In is a huge part of that. It's not just because a bunch of musicians live here. A bunch of musicians live everywhere.
Yeah.
SoundCloud exists. Everyone is an artist. So, institutions like, Exit In, that's like Exit In Nashville is on par with the Grand Ole Opry. Different genre, but it's that same sort of like historic quality.
It's 50 years
that,
this year.
Yeah, the Ryman, all that, like Exit In is the rock and roll aspect to all of that, and it would be devastating to this city. It would be like losing the Grand Ole Opry or the Ryman to a hotel developer. So
yeah, it's awful. We actually we never got to announce it. We had done a 3 different Festival of Ghouls there, and we had Fool Me Once, our album release show, booked for August 2nd of last year at Exit In, and it was booked there, and that's when it was going to be. And then everything happened in the world, but we love that place. We love the people, and so many people in Nashville do, and so many people outside, including Steve Martin.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't see the wall go down where they have the list of all the names. Of everyone's
Yeah.
been
Oh
there.
my god.
You'd be shocked to see all the names on that wall of people who have performed
Huge
there.
wall.
Yeah. It's one of the most important venues in, basically in rock and roll in the South. It's
Absolutely
such an incredible, important venue. Ugh.
So that little Linky boy there.
Yeah, so
anyway, if you got some and you throw at it, you'll see in the description that worst case scenario, those funds, if they can't be used for Exit In, they will still be used for independent venues, and so it's helping out during this time regardless. But we're all hoping and keeping our fingers crossed and fighting the fight. We've lost so many good venues here in Nashville,
Including the Muse.
including the Muse.
But
and
I think Logan was
like-
just exhausted.
No,
I don't
it
think
was a
taken
thing.
from him.
Yeah, there was. With each venue that's left, that has become kind of a home for certain genres and for certain scenes. The music scene in Nashville changed a lot when the Muse went down. For good and bad, depending. When 6th Avenue, when Rocketown moved locations, that music scene changed. If Exit In goes, the music scene in Nashville and the home for a lot of bands like us and a lot of bands in the region will change. We'll still be around. We'll fight with it, and we'll keep
It'd be a heavy
going
blow.
with it. But it's
Heavy
gonna
blow
make
to
it
the
harder.
Yeah.
So yeah, do what you guys can, and we'll keep you updated too on it, probably in future ones. It's not going to be a secret. It's going to be a big deal no matter what. So you'll know about it. We can all talk about it.
If Rolling Stone is writing,
yeah,
articles on wanting people to help save Exit In, then it's gonna probably make some sort of national music news that that we lost it if we lose it.
We just
Boo.
It's
We
true.
love that venue.
We
would
love
like
it.
to keep it.
And we want those of you out there who have not been there to be able to be there and to see shows there, because it's pretty great. It's pretty rock and roll.
Pretty good.
Man, oh man. Well, hey, we're going on 2 hours stream here.
Wow.
Yeah,
Thank you guys for hanging with us this whole time.
double what we've done. Man, thanks for sticking around. Thanks for seeing us get holes in our heads.
In our heads.
That looks great.
Cool.
That looked great.
I want to
Thank
see
you.
yours too.
Ooh, I
Oh.
love it. I love it.
We'll take some fancy new photos with it, and I'm excited, Dune, to make more music with you.
Yeah, I'm excited
And-
for any next step that we can take.
Mm-hmm.
Me too. Are you excited? Okay. Yes. Oh, thank you, everyone. We will be back. We have a couple of weeks left of this series that we're doing. Next week, we have Andrew Farron, my brother, who's going to be on, who played the part of Harold, the Diamond Hellsinger, and we'll be finding out more of his story. And our Discord, we have questions in the Fool Me Once section, so if you have more, please ask. And if you have more, even for Dune or for our recording process or creating, ask them, and we'll get to them in future ones. We can like FaceTime you or something during a stream
That would be fun.
like this.
It's been like,
You're
Dune,
like, what are you doing?
Dune,
And you're
we
gonna
have
have
a
like
question.
kids and jewelry hanging off of you, and you'll be like, "Just getting ice cream. What's up, man?"
There's a really cool piece of hardware coming out from Hercules Stands, which is owned by KHS, a company that I used to work for, also owns Hercules Stands. They have a new thing coming out that attaches to the mic stand. So like when we're recording and we're recording vocals, has two little arms coming out, one for like an iPad, one for like a phone, so that you can read the lyrics.
Oh, nice.
You know,
Yeah.
while you're singing, so you're not having to have like a tack on a piece of paper.
That's
which is
awesome.
what we're used to.
Yeah, which one?
And then
Yeah.
you could have another iPad or a phone on the other end live streaming.
That's awesome.
That sounds great. Do the arms like clap if you did a good job?
Contact Kevin and tell him to get on it.
Knock down all of your
Smashing
my
all the
computer.
equipment.
No, my
Oh
phone.
God.
He's just juggling the whole time.
You're like,
He
ah.
only juggles two.
And then you're like, how about one more? No!
He starts going like, no,
No!
That's advanced.
Perfect. All right, you guys, we love you very much. Thank you very much, Dune. Thank you, Joe, for returning as
Thank you,
well.
Joe.
Thank you, Ida. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. This was fun.
This was fun. See you all next week.
See you next week.
Goodbye. Morning star, you proudly greet me. Morning star, you proudly greet me, brightest by far.